So today I want to talk about warming up and how to prepare for your CrossFit class. So there's going to be some things that are written up here that are not specifically designated on the whiteboard. Those are written in green, and there's some things that are written in black that are specifically written on the whiteboard and either coach directed or coach led. The green things then are meant for you to be doing on your own, and things that are really the main point of this video, in that I don't think that most people necessarily, it's not an automatic like understood this is how it works. So before you come in, or not before you come in, but when you arrive here, we have foam rollers, we've got rowers, we've got all sorts of equipment for you to use that as long as the previous class isn't using, you are more than welcome to use. Those things include, like I said, a foam roller, and that's a great way to just get in here, move around, use that thing as I can show you how to use that if you're not familiar, but just do some soft tissue work and kind of roll around, feel what's tight, feel where things are a little bit achy if there are, which can then lead you into some mobility work and some working out of those tight areas or some of the kinks in the system. So that's meant to be done on your own. That should be done like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes at least when you get here early and done on your own. Then we will lead you, or there will be directed a warm-up that's on the board. Currently there's 5 warm-ups, 1 per day of the week, and that will be led and done with the class. So you don't really have to think too much about that. That's done definitely on your own. I'm sorry, that's not done on your own, that's done with the class. After that, and leading into the strength work of the day, is a specific warm-up and then potentially some further mobility work. So for this, we'll continue with this back squat and pull-up example. That's designated as 3 sets of 10 at 3:01 tempo with 2 minutes rest. Then it's alternated with 3 sets of 10 pull-ups at 2:111 tempo with 2 minutes rest. So to do a specific warm-up, you're going to do some sets of back squat and of maybe pull up, maybe like a ring row or some sort of pulling motion that's similar to a pull up, but is easy, but replicates that movement on your own, and it's not going to count towards these 3 sets. So like for example, if this back squat at that 3 sets of 10, to warm up for it and doing this, what I'm talking about is a specific warm up, is grabbing like an empty barbell or something very light for you and going through maybe sets of 5 or 10, and then moving on, doing some pull-ups, again something easy, something kind of in this type of a motion to be more specific and get your joints prepared for that exact movement. Then you may, depending on where you're at as an athlete, you may do 2 or 3 more warm-up sets like that are not going to count towards these 3. So if you back squat 200 pounds and you do a set with an empty barbell, that's not going to count as a set. If you maybe bump up to like 95 pounds and do a set of 10, probably shouldn't count either. I would say that as far as what our working set should count as is something that's like, something that's like we'll call 75 to 80% of intensity or potentially of that max. If you don't know your maxes, or you don't know what like a 10 RM max is for you, I would just use that kind of intensity feeler thing where it's something that's starting to get tough. But if it says 3 sets of 10, you grab an empty barbell, you do a set of 10 to warm up, and you do another set of 10 at, whatever, something a little heavier than that, those don't count. So those are not accounted for in these 3 sets of 10. Same with the pull-ups. This is just kind of getting you specifically warmed up for something heavy and something much tougher that's going to stimulate some adaptation. Then, depending on how you feel with those really light sets, you may do some more mobility work, maybe even some more foam roll work, depending on how your whole body feels through those movements. So if you get down there and your ankles feel really tight through the back squats, you may want to do some ankle mobility. If your thoracic spine feels really tight, you may want to do some upper back foam rolling. Coaches can help you with that stuff if you're not really sure. If you go through those warm-up sets and you feel like, my hips are really tight or my ankles are really tight, then let us know, and we're happy to direct you in that way. So hopefully that clarifies how this should all go. So again, if you show up here, your class is at 8 a.m., you show up here at 7:45, you should spend 10 to 15 minutes doing some foam roll mobility work. Class will start at 8, or 802, as it seems has been the general trend lately. You'll do the general warm-up with the class. That'll take 10 to 12, 15 minutes or so. Then you do a specific warm-up that will get you prepared for these two movements. That should be pretty specific to what's coming up. And then potentially some more mobility work as you get through those. Then you'll get into your A1, A2 alternating.